Hello, my beautiful, amazing Scorpios. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general reading, your past, present, and future. So, this is more or less the start of the altar because we have more rose petals. I always keep my roses close to me, and the human is more or less in the process of adding more, vampire ornaments and baubles, whatever it is that he pretty much just thinks would be, really entertaining and fun to add. But he already had purchased me this candle, and it's called Vampire's Blood Scent. So this more or less just kind of enhances my vampiric abilities and my feel about these cards and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get started with the first row, which is also your past. You get Six of Swords, Eight of Pentacles reversed. Oh my goodness, one of your beautiful cards is being the King of Cups, but gender doesn't mean anything for my beautiful followers. But what I actually see here is you made a really good diplomatic decision based off of the King of Cups, because that's pretty much a sense of clarity. It's pretty much just feeling incredibly confident in your own element for that matter, but you pretty much just think, okay, I know exactly where I'm heading towards, and especially, since we already know what the future holds, Ace of Cups. But well, you pretty much took off somewhere because you thought, you know what, I have just no motivation. I just had to leave somewhere, because you do also get the Queen of Wands in the future as well. But there was something that was more or less just saying, I need to leave this whole situation. I need to take off because I don't feel any kind of motivation. I'm not really putting much able hard work or time into this whole voyage for that matter, but I feel like I made a really good, confident, and really good call because of my decision in the past. Well done. I mean, next to Leo and you, we don't have Taurus or what do you call it? Aquarius as of yet, but you guys are very fixed individuals, because once you have your eyes set on something, you're pretty much determined to make sure it does happen. Though in current times you do get the High Priestess reversed, the Hanged Man reversed, okay, and the Four of Swords. Am I sensing hesitation or doubt? I mean, I hope not. But with the High Priestess reversed, you know what this card is mostly focused on? Is thinking, okay, it's like I don't need to be, thinking about my intuition. Maybe, you do sense that there's a bit of lack of clarity because, you did make a good call with the King of Cups, but of course we still have to clarify to verify it all. But something is putting you more or less in the need of rest and recovery from something. Maybe, it's just like with any common human feeling for that matter, is you just kind of have like maybe second thoughts, maybe you do have a bit of cold feet, or maybe you do have like some kind of uneasiness, because with the Hanged Man, it's like pretty much just kind of feeling a little bit uneasy. Because, it's also with the High Priestess. Normally with the High Priestess upright, it's about her upper book of knowledge, of her experiences, and all of her intuition and senses are really sharp. But since it came in reverse, it's kind of like there's a bit of lack of clarity, or maybe you're kind of sensing a bit of hesitation or doubt about this whole having, that you pretty much had to leave something or change course. I wonder about that. But of course, Four of Swords on a general note is important for recovery, because the general card for today is the Page of Pentacles reversed. So maybe, either you left some kind of job that wasn't working out for you because you probably thought, I just don't really care for it, or, or any kind of reason and stuff like that. But it's also feeling like you don't really have the need or motivation to get out for, this financial journey as well. Though in the future, it's starting to look incredibly bright. Queen of Wands, Leo energy starting on July 23rd. Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. And Ace of Cups, a new offering. Okay, you know what I actually see here? Is maybe you're feeling a little bit uneasy because, it's like, well, this transition is kind of putting you in a phase of actually thinking, it's like, well, maybe, you're not getting, your weekly or monthly salary for that moment. But what I do see is I see you incredibly bold and brave and strong in the future. You are incredibly determined regarding the Queen of Swords, because you know exactly which direction you're heading down towards. And that's what the Queen of Swords already says, is we're heading down that way, because we know exactly that that direction is going to be leading us towards like this big new beginning, this overflow and abundance, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. I mean, we've already had, I mean, one of your beautiful cards or another one of them, which is actually one of my favorites, but I love this card. But the thing is you are incredibly courageous and strong to know exactly, where it's going to be taking you. Love that. For clarification, the Six of Swords. The Ace of Swords. Yes, you were fixed and determined in the past. So what I actually saw is you knew exactly where you were heading down towards. You left whatever wasn't serving you, and that is what really more or less, enhanced your ability to, take off and say, I'm taking off that direction because I'm just, I know for certain because I'm going to finally be able to put my motivation and time and effort into heading down towards this direction. Because with the Eight of Pentacles, it could mean maybe, that you're not getting your salary, but it's also more or less and not having the motivation on wanting to actually head towards, the same career that probably wasn't serving you in the past as well. Fantastic. Because for the Eight of Pentacles, you get the world. So you were more or less heading out into the world, but this was also probably having to leave, that Eight of Pentacles of hard work. I mean, it is a, sort of a motivations kind of card, but it's also mostly about hard work and putting a lot of effort and time into, this career and stuff like that. But you pretty much just took off and you said, I'm heading out into the world. I love that. I think that's incredibly brave and strong and courageous that you actually are one of the very lucky ones who have that kind of motivation within you to head out into this world. And that's kind of what I saw you doing in the past. The King of Cups, Lord of Scepters, King of Wands. So you already got Leo fire energy in the past, and then you get the Queen of Wands in the future. So this wonderful call was amazing. This was a really good thing that you did. You pretty much just, probably planned everything through. You pretty much just put a lot of effort and time into this whole transition phase of whatever may be. And you pretty much just, you were already incredibly strong and bold and courageous from this whole process. I love that. I think that is really just incredibly amazing on so many levels. Because the thing is some humans, they just kind of just have this mentality where they either say, oh, it's like, all I have to do is just kind of struggle through it a bit. Or some people think, oh, I just don't have the courage or the desire to want to have to leave this place, even though it probably, doesn't benefit anybody for that matter. But I just saw you incredibly strong and bold in the past. Terrific. So even though the High Priestess came in reversed, you got the Prince of Knives, the Knight of Swords. So even though you probably, thought, oh, maybe, I mean, I'm not really getting jittery feelings, though I do occasionally, or I do mostly get that with the Hanged Man. But what I actually mostly am seeing here is, it's like this could have also been you saying, you know what, let's just tune out our thoughts and feelings and sensations, and let's just act upon our determined and our strategic and logical self of heading down towards this Ace of Cups, this new offering. I mean, the thing is, it's like, I think I mentioned, something like this to Leo, so I'm going to also mention it to you as well, is why should you settle for less? It's like, time is, or, life, but especially time is really precious on so many levels. Why? Because the thing is, why would you want to be wasting, your time on just either, feeling burdened, feeling underappreciated, underloved, you pretty much, just accepted something because maybe it was just a temporary job, but maybe you really thought, man, why should I even be wasting, like my precious, beautiful years on something that's just really not making me happy? I'm not getting any kind of benefits out of it. So I actually see you actually just saying, you know what, now let's just turn off, our thoughts and feelings and sensations, and let's just, go for it. Because with the Hanged Man reversed, Emperor, Aries, you could also have Aries placements in your star chart. But what I actually see here is, it's like maybe, you do have this kind of restlessness of thinking, oh goodness, I don't know if this was actually really a good idea. But here you are in another passionate position of thinking, you know what, we are very strong, we are very bold. I mean, of course, I love the beautiful red colors here. But what I actually see here is that, you are also incredibly determined, about wanting to also just keep going and stuff like that. I mean, the thing is, it's like, time changes, like change is just inevitable nonetheless. So if you pretty much just feel like that you're in a position where you're just constantly thinking, on one minute you want to leave, and then the next thing you pretty much just think, well, You know, now that I think about it, I actually, will want to, and will maybe consider, well, going back or something. But this is also about saying no. It's like, well, why should we actually be heading towards any kind of, and well, maybe this is your boss trying to reach back out to you, or maybe you're trying to go back to this old, your previous job that wasn't really benefiting you. Because for Four of Swords, you're in need of rest. Because you get the King of Swords. Now you get the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands here. So there's probably so much royalty going on in your life. But what I actually see here is you are still incredibly ambitious, goal-oriented. And what I see you doing is, this is, well, where you could be having maybe some, also, yeah, some second thoughts about thinking, is this actually even going to work out in my favor and stuff like that. Well, I just actually see you resting up, because rest is crucial, to think clearly, to have the energy to actually head out into this world, to really, put a lot of time and effort. And this is where you're doing is you're being enhanced by your determination and motivation, and it's going to be enhanced even more in the future with more courage and strength, especially that it also showed up in your past. Fantastic. Queen of Wands, Star Wish Fulfillment. Speak of another fixed sign, Aquarius. Now the only card we're missing for this is Taurus. But anyway, Star Wish Fulfillment in the future for my beautiful, amazing Scorpios. It could be taking place during Leo season or anything, but I see you incredibly bold, courageous, and strong. And the thing is when you're making any big decisions. Big decisions require so much energy, and that's why it is so crucial to be resting up so you can recover and stuff like that, so you can think clearly, so you can act clearly, so you can be strong and confident in the future. And that's kind of what I see you doing, is you're pretty much just kind of heading towards this very bold, beautiful Star Wish fulfillment. And I can't say when, where, how. It could definitely be taking place during Leo season, or it could be taking place during Libra season starting in September, October. But either way, I just actually see this wonderful, beautiful, happy end so far. Because for the Queen of Swords, the second King of Cups. So you're going to be maybe in a potential new offering of some kind. But this is also, this determination is also providing you with a sense of diplomacy, but also so much clarity. Your senses are pretty much just really strong and bold and just really determined as you are for being a fixed sign next to Aquarius or Leo. I mean, we haven't come across any Scorpio energy as of yet, but anyway, I see you, Hamill, heading down towards this new beginning, and I want to know exactly. With the Ace of Cups, you get the second Six of Swords. So I see you in a very beautiful, happy ending. This offering could be leading you towards this abundance, this new beginning, this offering in the future as well. So this is what I see you doing is, you could be offered something in the future, maybe in the fall times, maybe in the summer times for that matter, or even in, again, fall times. I mean, but this beautiful card is waiting for you in the future, and this is where you are heading towards. This could be definitely some kind of Star Wish fulfillment. It could be any kind of fulfillment. It can be any offering for that matter, but that is what I see so far in today's reading for you. Special vampire card, Nine of Cups. You're going to be in a very beautiful, fulfilled position. You're just going to have so much going on for you in the future. I can't say when or how, of course. Man, woman, blonde, brunette, redhead. But anyway, this is what I actually see is so much abundance, so much happiness. You just get a happy ending, because even though the Page of Cups was more or less the general rule, I mean the general card, not the general rule, but the general card for the Rider-Waite deck. Now this is pretty much, being enhanced by saying, why should you settle for less? Because you know that sometimes the waiting game is crucial. And that's what I see you doing, is you're pretty much waiting for this opportunity to commence, because there's definitely a Star Wish fulfillment on its way towards you. And this could also be your Star Wish fulfillment as well. So, Oracle wants to add ecstasy, yielding, rapture, and bliss. Now you're going to be in a very positive happiness feeling, and because you can be in a real good ecstasy, ecstatic position. You could be dealing with some kind of rapture. I mean, that's what any kind of transition, I mean, is all about, is this big change. Any kind of transitions could be definitely some form of rapture, but you will be in a nice blissful position in the future. And this is what I see as being enhanced by the Nine of Cups. You'll be in a really beautiful position in the future. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For number 1, it is a no with the 4 of Wands reversed. A yes with the 5 of Swords upright. And speak of the 3rd King of Cups. That is a definite yes for my beautiful, amazing Scorpio water signs, my beautiful followers and fledglings. Sad but true, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated for you, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on where this transition is going to be taking you. But so far, I think any kind of journey is really crucial because movement is important for any kind of development for that matter. But I want to thank you again so much. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm doing love readings. So for now, I'm just doing love in general. But if you want a personal reading, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel and post a little discussion box that you want a personal reading from me, and I'll respond to you with my email. Other than that, I want to thank you all again so much for joining me, and I love you guys incredibly.